All right, gang, so the first round of the NCAA tournament has officially wrapped. We're sitting at a 27-5 record. We've got a perfect bracket going on in the South. So as far as like upsets, we had 12 High Point, we had 11 VCU, 10 Texas A&M, 9 Iowa. We had some other upsets as well, right? But we're looking really good. Been a fun tournament so far. Of course, our championship pick is still alive. We don't have any real bracket busting stuff to talk about, except we did have a fun pick with Akron possibly sneaking into matchup with Michigan in the Sweet 16. So that's the only game we forfeited next round, essentially, right? So we haven't had any major busts. That would be the biggest one, nothing else like that. Now, of course, all our Final Four teams still alive. And, I want to talk about one game in particular, UCLA, right? So they had good-looking cheerleaders, all that sort of stuff, but, like, you should have known the fix was in for UCLA when this dude got his tooth knocked out. They don't do stuff like that if they're not going to win, right? Like, that's not something that's really going to affect his game. It's something, now he can show up with some stupid grill or something, next game. Who knows what they're going to do, right? You get it. So, I don't know how much more we really have to talk about. We'll look stuff over. Well, yeah, so we'll kind of give a preview of the next round since we're so hot. You probably want to know what Coach thinks, right? So we're 27-5. I think TCU's in a really good position to possibly upset Duke. I put some tickets in there. St. John's hasn't advanced to the Sweet 16 forever. Might be some sort of curse there. And of course, Kansas has a flip. They've got like the Embiid connection, lots of other good stuff, but Kansas just hasn't been themselves this year. I feel pretty good about that SJU pick, so hopefully St. John's pulls through there. We've got Louisville advancing over Michigan State. That's a real tough one. Louisville looked horrible in the first round. So logic dictates that's not going to hold, but we'll see. That's why they play the games. Now, let's see. Oh, yeah, so then we've got UConn versus UCLA. This is one where we missed because we had UCF going ahead. But looking at it, UCF, that's like a flip of UFC. We've got the UFC getting dissolved. They're the Knights. Bob Knight died, whereas UCLA, like the winningest team in the history of the game. They had Kareem, who just got his points record broken by LeBron like last year or the year before, something like that, right? So, let's see. UConn, the women's team, won last year. So Florida, I think they could get upset very soon. This round or the next, something like that. I think you might, like, we've got Vandy going ahead in this one, but Coach didn't bet like that. The more I think about it, I never trusted Vanderbilt to begin with. I don't care that Nebraska's never won before. They just smoked Troy. I thought they had a good team before the season started. I said they were going to win a tournament game, right? So I'm actually, even though we've got Vanderbilt there, Coach is betting like Nebraska's going to take care of business there. And so I'm like not too concerned about that. And they might even beat Florida, right? So I'm not sure if Iowa beats out Florida. I feel like Nebraska is a way better get for. I feel like Nebraska's way more deserving of a big get like Florida. Nebraska's been around forever, never really done anything. So that'd be a nice little Cinderella run and story. And they're still just in the Elite Eight at that point. You kill them off there, and it was still a good run. That's what Coach would do. We got our VCU Rams going against Illinois. Coach picked Illinois to advance, but, obviously we're going to be rooting for the Rams. Coach is from Virginia, so I'm kind of wishing, honestly, that I would have put VCU there because I'm really mad if they win, and I don't have them on there, so I'm actually going to put some slips in with VCU. And then Texas A&M Houston. You got the in-state rivalry thing going on. Houston's favored by double digits, but Texas A&M. Actually, I was thinking of Texas Tech as the Red Raiders. I'm not sure what would be too good about the old Aggies there. I'm thinking Houston just handles that. Arizona and Utah State, they got the border rivalry right there. Arizona should be able to handle that, I'd imagine. High Point, Arkansas. Of course, we want Arkansas advancing there. We certainly wouldn't be mad if this ends up being Arkansas, Utah State in the Sweet 16. That'd be nice. Now, Gonzaga, Texas. I think Texas is in a good spot. Texas might upset them. But we've got Gonzaga, so hopefully that holds. Miami and Purdue. We've got Purdue advancing. Yeah, I don't think they're going to have much problem. And I think both those look good. So let's look at the final section we got here. Right, Michigan versus St. Louis. Coach thinks Michigan's better than Alabama. They could end up just going to the Elite Eight. And then, we would have Kentucky on the other side there. Tennessee, UVA. Of course, Coach is going to be rooting for UVA. Kentucky and Iowa State. I think that's what it is. So, Iowa State put up 108 and Kentucky had a hard time, right? This might not be Kentucky's year, right? This is going to be a tough matchup. So, I'm definitely going to probably have some slips with Iowa State on there. So,